Well, here we are again today, guys. We're looking at uh, infinite baffle subwoofers, and right now what I'm looking at is in the 15-inch department. And we're over here on Crutchfield.com. Um, I went through, I had to go through them one at a time, and found three that meet the basic QTS requirements to be a respectable infinite baffle subwoofer. Now, let it be known that there are better choices in the home audio department, but today we're looking at three that are in the car audio configuration, and hopefully this will help you guys out if you're looking. And two of them run about $200. The third one is a $300 subwoofer. Two of them are made by Memphis Audio. One of them is MTX, the MTX 551522, and the Memphis Audio MJP 1522, and the Memphis Audio PRX 1524. And so we're going to check out the specs and compare these three different drivers and what their positives and negatives are. And let's get started. So first of all, like I said, they're all 315 inches. They can all play 4 ohms. Two of them are capable of 1 ohm. That's depending on how you wire up those dual voice coils. The MTX is the only one that's polypropylene cone. Both the Memphises have treated paper. I tend to prefer treated paper in subwoofer cones over polypropylene. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing. In fact, the way this particular cone is made, it looks like it would be plenty rigid with that polypropylene cone. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. The MTX has a rubber surround, whereas the one of the Memphises is rubber and one's foam. And the PRX is the rubber there. So let's move on down. Now, all three of these say no to free air. Okay? All three of them, or two of them, say yes to dual voice coil. The other one is no. So all three of these drivers say that they're not a free air driver. However, the numbers do tell that they should be able to do the job. The sensitivities are all very similar, so we're going to leave that one out. The frequency response is an interesting one. With the MTX's response is from 20 hertz to 130 hertz. The Memphis PRX is 28 to 150, and the Mojo is, or the MJP is 30 to 150. So in this particular group, the MTX has the best frequency response range for a free air driver. Not a free air driver, but an infinite baffle driver. Now the MTX's power handling is only 400 watts RMS, whereas the Memphis MJP is 750 and the Memphis PRX is 300 watts RMS. This isn't really important as far as the performance of the driver. This is important as far as what kind of power you want a driver to be able to handle in your particular setup. Moving on down to the FS. The MTX has an FS of 25 hertz, which is extremely good. That's its free air, natural free air frequency response. What it means is if the thing was just vibrating, it would vibrate at this speed. This would be its speed at vibration. It wants to vibrate at 25 hertz, which means in those upper 20s and stuff, it's going to really, really resonate, which is what you're looking for in a free air driver. Now, the Memphis MJP is 33.6. The Memphis PRX is 32. So that's a wash. But definitely the MTX has the best numbers for the FS. Now the QTS, the thing that you have to base your decisions of whether something is even plausible in a infinite baffle is the QTS. And the QTS on these, the MTX is a 0.81, which is a little bit high. Ideal QTS is 0.707 if you're going to go infinite baffle. Now the Memphis MJP is a .746, which is the closest one to perfection in the QTS department. The Memphis Audio PRX is .88. So all three of these will do well in a infinite baffle. And I would say that based on QTS that the Memphis MJP is your best choice. However, that's not the only thing we're measuring by. The FS is also huge. The FS is a big deal. And there's a couple of other things we're going to cover too, like Xmax. The MTX is Xmax, or its ability to move away from its center. Basically this number, a bigger number, means the cone can move more, meaning it's going to be able to play lower notes at more volume. And the Xmax on the MTX is 15.24, whereas the Memphis MJP is 12.95 and the PRX is 10.5. So a higher number is better in this department. Again, the MTX seems to be doing the job. So, and on down here, the MTX does give you a 2-year warranty on both parts and labor, versus the Memphis is both giving you 1-year warranties. So the main things we're looking at for these drivers are the FS, the frequency, and the QTS, and the Xmax. These are three big, huge things whenever it comes to delivering extreme lows, and especially in playing an infinite baffle. All three categories, the MTX seems to be winning this fight. It has a lower power handling rating than the Memphis MJP, but it does bring the rest of the guns to the fight. If I had to pick a winner in this, there's not really one, but I would have to pick two. You see, this has a polypropylene cone, but this cone style, the solid face like this, tends to be very rigid, and so the cone material isn't as much of a deal. It's got this wonderful accordion cone too, and I do like this in an infinite baffle setup. I think it works really well. It has a lot of Xmax. It has a good QTS. Overall, I think it's a great choice for a driver. And on the other hand, the Memphis Audio does have a higher power rating. It has a better QTS for infinite baffle, not by a lot. I do like the way it's wired, the way it's built, the construction of it, the fact that it has a paper cone. I mean, you can't go wrong with this Mojo. It's a beast, right?
Hey, I'm JR, training manager.
So, and yeah, JR is going to talk to us if I'm going to let him talk. Of the two, I would pick these two of the three, and unless you're wanting to put a lot more power on them, it's a 400 watts versus 750 watts. Unless that's a major issue, well, you've also got price to consider too. That's a toss-up. If you're wanting more power, then this Memphis Mojo is probably the ring dinger for you. And if you're wanting to stay in budget a little lower and not really concerned about a lot of power, then I would definitely rock this MTX 5515. If you're wanting to put together an SQ system in a car, and you're wanting to do an infinite baffle sub, either of these would work depending on your budget and your power concerns, because they're both extremely good. I would think just by the design of this MTX, it would probably have the best overall sound characteristics. Big high roll surrounds tend to add color to the sound a little bit. And I'm nitpicking here, guys. I really am, because I'm trying to decide on which one I would pick. But if you're going for maximum quality sound, I think I would probably go with the MTX 5515. But if you're wanting the best quality you can get and still having some good power and some good, solid volume, maybe the Memphis would be the better choice. So it just depends. Anyway, these are two very viable, as well as this one over here, although it's on back order. Two very viable subs in the car audio department that would be infinite baffle friendly. Hopefully you guys found this useful. If you did, please hit that subscribe button and leave comments down below. What do you think about the deal? What kind of subs would you be looking for? What characteristics are you interested in? Do you think my opinion is valid or not? Anyway, guys, peace.